On a bright Saturday afternoon in the city, a black man found himself pinned against his own bicycle, knuckles white on the handlebars, as a white police officer fisted his shirt and shouted in his face. Cars slowed, pedestrians stopped, and phones rose into the air, recording everything. The cruiser's red and blue lights flashed against the glass storefronts, turning the quiet block into a stage. No one watching knew that the stolen bike the officer was ranting about was not only bought with the man's own money, it had been designed, coded, and locked by him. Jordan Miles had worked 2 jobs for years to get where he was. By day, he was a software engineer at a small startup that built smart bike locks and safety apps for cyclists. By night and weekends, he tested those same locks on the streets of his neighborhood, logging bugs and ideas on his phone between rides. He'd grown up in this city, in a community where bikes weren't just toys, they were lifelines. His first freelance job, his first date, even the late-night grocery runs for his mom, all done on 2 wheels. So when his company finally launched Guardian Ride, a high-tech lock that paired to a phone and only unlocked using encrypted facial recognition and a unique code, he made sure he was the first paying customer. He didn't want a discount. He wanted to know he had truly earned it. That matte black bike with the smart lock wasn't just transportation. It was a piece of his dream. That afternoon, Jordan had just wrapped up a mentoring session at a community center, teaching teens basic coding and bike safety. He rolled slowly down the street, savoring the breeze, the easy rhythm of his legs. His backpack bounced lightly against his shoulder, laptop inside, Guardian Ride app open in the background. He stopped in front of his favorite coffee shop, locked the bike to the rack, and watched as the app confirmed. Bike secured, Jordan M, serial number GR47A3. He smiled, slipped the phone in his pocket, and went inside for an iced coffee. 10 minutes later, as he stepped back out, sipping his drink, he noticed a police cruiser double-parked near the rack. A white officer stood beside his bike, one hand resting on the saddle, the other on his belt. Jordan's first instinct was concern. Had there been an accident, a hit and run? But as he walked closer, the officer's expression sharpened, and Jordan felt that familiar prickle at the back of his neck. "That's your bike?" the officer barked, nodding toward it. "Yes, sir. Is something wrong?" "Funny," the officer said, eyes narrowing. "We got a call about a suspicious male messing with a high-end bike that doesn't belong to him. Description matches you. You want to try that again?"
If you think this little guy is cute, please hit like and subscribe, or else this man will knock on your doorstep tomorrow.
Jordan felt a slow, sinking sensation in his stomach. "I locked it myself," he said. "I work just a few blocks from here. I have an app that—" "Hands off the handlebars," the officer snapped as Jordan instinctively reached for the bike. "Step away." Jordan raised his hands slightly, palms open. "Okay, I'm not trying to cause trouble. I can show you proof of ownership on my phone. There's a serial number, purchase receipt, and—" The officer took a step, puffed. "You think I'm stupid?" he said. "Every thief on the street has a story. Where's your ID?" Several people had stopped now, forming a loose semicircle on the sidewalk. A middle-aged woman looked from Jordan to the officer, hesitating. A young man in glasses quietly lifted his phone and began recording. Across the street, a parked rideshare car's dashcam blinked, capturing the scene through the windshield. Jordan slowly reached for his wallet. "My ID is right here," he said. "My name is Jordan Miles. I'm a software engineer at Guardian Ride. I literally work on the technology that's locking this bike." The officer snatched the ID, barely glancing at it before letting it dangle between 2 fingers. "Yeah, and I'm the CEO of NASA. You fit the description. Fancy bike, wrong neighborhood, wrong attitude." "Wrong attitude?" Jordan repeated, feeling his heart rate climb. He forced himself to breathe. He remembered his mother's warnings, the community workshops on surviving police encounters. Don't escalate, don't raise your voice, live first, fight later. "Officer," Jordan tried again, keeping his tone measured. There's an app that controls this lock. It uses my phone and my face. The bike literally will not unlock for anyone else. If you just let me..." The officer suddenly grabbed a fistful of Jordan's shirt, yanking him forward away from the bike and toward the cruiser. Jordan stumbled, bumping his thigh on the curb. "Stop resisting!" the officer growled. "I'm not resisting," Jordan said, hands instinctively gripping the handlebars to keep his balance. "You're pulling me!"
A woman's voice cut through the air. "Officer, I'm recording this," she said. "He's not resisting, you're dragging him." "Ma'am, step back or you'll be detained for interfering," the officer snapped without looking at her. "This man is suspected of theft." Jordan's body trembled with adrenaline. He'd reviewed dozens of videos like this for his community workshops, pausing them to point out what went wrong, what to do differently, how to stay calm. Now he was inside one, the officer's fist twisted in his shirt, his bike half toppled, his reputation dissolving on the sidewalk. "Please," Jordan said, locking eyes with the officer. "You want proof? Let me show you. I'm not going anywhere. We can do this right here in front of everyone. If I can't unlock that bike, you can arrest me. But if I can, you owe me an apology." The officer hesitated, breathing hard, anger and something else flickering in his eyes. Pride. Ego. The crowd had thickened, more phones were up, cameras pointed at his badge. He glanced around and seemed to realize he was on stage. "Fine," he spat. "You want to play games with your little app? Let's play. But you so much as twitch wrong and you're on the pavement, understand?" He released Jordan's shirt with a shove. Jordan stumbled back, exhaled slowly, and reached carefully into his pocket for his phone. His hand shook, but his mind shifted into the calm focus he used at work when debugging code. "This is the Guardian Ride app. It's connected to the lock on that bike. It only recognizes my account, my face, and my passcode." "Just do it," the officer snarled. Jordan tapped the icon. The app opened with a familiar blue splash screen. A prompt appeared. "Face ID required." He held the phone up. The screen scanned, then unlocked with a soft chime. Next, a big button. "Unlock bike, GR-47A3. "Everyone watching?" Jordan said quietly, meeting the eyes of the nearest bystanders. Several nodded. The woman who had spoken earlier zoomed her camera in. Jordan tapped the button. Across the sidewalk, the smart lock on the bike beeped and clicked. The LED ring around the shackle turned from red to green. The lock sprang open and hung loose from the frame, metal gleaming in the afternoon light. The officer froze. For a second, nothing moved. Then the murmurs started. It really unlocked. He wasn't lying. That tech is crazy. Jordan walked slowly to the bike, pulled the lock free, and held it up. The app displayed his profile, name, registration date, and the same serial number stamped on the underside of the lock. "This is my bike," Jordan said, voice still shaking, but now edged with steel. "Bought it, registered it, built the code that runs this lock. You grabbed me, accused me in public, and tried to drag me away for stealing my own property because someone thought I looked suspicious standing next to something nice." The officer's face reddened. He looked from the unlocked bike to the watching crowd, then back to Jordan's phone. His mouth opened, but no words came out. A second patrol car pulled up just then, lights spinning. A supervisor stepped out, older, with graying hair and a guarded expression. He took in the scene. The crowd, the phones, Jordan's rumpled shirt, the officer's clenched jaw. "What's going on here?" the supervisor asked. "Possible bike theft, but the suspect claims..." "I'm not a suspect. My name is Jordan Miles. This is my bike. I just unlocked it with an app that only responds to my biometrics. Do you want to see the purchase receipt and registration too? I have all of it right here." The supervisor studied Jordan's phone, the app interface, the lock still dangling open in his hand. He listened as a couple of bystanders chimed in, telling him what they'd seen: the initial accusation, the grabbing, the shove. The supervisor's shoulders sagged almost imperceptibly. "Officer Davis," he said tightly, turning to the cop, "did you verify any of this before putting hands on him?" He matched the description. High-end bike, suspicious behavior, wouldn't answer straight. He answered you, the woman with the phone interrupted. He offered proof from the beginning. You just didn't want to listen. The supervisor's eyes flicked to the recording phones, then to a parked car's dashcam light blinking steadily through the windshield. He knew this wasn't going to just disappear. "Mr. Miles," he said, looking back at Jordan, "on behalf of the department, I'd like to apologize for any misunderstanding."
Jordan laughed once, short and humorless. "A misunderstanding is bumping into someone in the hallway," he said. "This was profiling. This was a grown man grabbing me like I'm some criminal when I'm standing next to something I own. I teach kids in this neighborhood how to stay calm in situations like this, and you just gave them another video to study." "We'll need to file a report and review the body cam footage," the supervisor said. "You're welcome to file a complaint as well." "Oh, I will," Jordan replied. "And I'll be attaching every second of video from every angle. My own app has a ride log with GPS showing I've taken this bike to work and back for months. That broken trust you just saw," he gestured to the crowd, "that's on you." In the days that followed, the video spread quicker than any of Jordan's code updates ever had. A clip of the officer wrenching his shirt, another of the moment the lock snapped open as the app recognized his face, looped and shared with captions like, "He really accused him of stealing his own bike," and "Tech doesn't lie, but people do." Local news ran the story. Comment sections boiled over with anger, support, cynicism, and hope. The department announced an internal investigation. Officer Davis was placed on administrative leave pending review of the footage and complaints. In community forums, people debated whether suspension was enough, whether bias training worked, whether anything ever really changed. For Jordan, the questions ran deeper and more personal. He replayed the encounter in his head at night, the look on Davis's face, the moment the lock clicked open as the app recognized his face, the tremor in his own voice as he demanded to be seen as more than a stereotype. Rage would surge up, but so would something else, a stubborn determination. At work, his team gathered around him. "We saw the video," his manager said. "We're with you." Jordan nodded, still absorbing the fact that something he'd built had become the proof he needed to defend himself. "I keep thinking, what if I didn't have the app? What if it was just a regular chain log and a faded receipt at home? How many times has this happened where the person couldn't prove it in the moment?" That question stuck with him. Within weeks, he proposed a new feature, Guardian Mode. If a rider felt threatened during a stop by theft, harassment, or anything else, they could tap a hidden button in the app. The phone would quietly start recording, ping their location and live video to a trusted contact, and back everything up in the cloud. No fumbling to open the camera, no obvious gestures to set someone off. Just one tap and an automatic witness. His team loved it. "Build it," his manager said. "We'll prioritize it." At the next community workshop, Jordan stood in front of a room full of teens and parents. He showed them the video, then he showed them the new feature in the prototype app. "This won't fix everything," he told them. "Technology can't erase bias or fear, but it can help tell the truth when someone tries to rewrite it. It can keep a record when someone with a badge or a loud voice insists their version is the only one that counts." He looked around at their faces, the worry, the defiance, the quiet hope. "The real change," he added, "comes from people who refuse to look away. The woman who spoke up, the guy who recorded from the curb, the driver whose dashcam never blinked, and from us, when we demand better, file complaints, show up at meetings, and keep telling these stories until they can't be ignored." Outside, his bike waited at the rack, the Guardian ride lock glowing soft blue. He opened the app, watched as it recognized his face, and listened for that now familiar click. This time, the sound didn't just mean access to a frame and two wheels. It meant proof. It meant a voice. If this story opened your eyes or reminded you how quickly assumptions can turn dangerous, don't let it end here. Share it with someone who needs to see the power of evidence, courage, and community. Speak up when you witness injustice. Hit record when it's safe, and stand beside those who are targeted instead of turning away. And if you want more real stories that expose abuse, uplift truth, and fight for dignity on every road and sidewalk, consider subscribing. Together, we can turn scenes like this from everyday reality into a history we refuse to repeat.
Thank you for watching DASHCAM and Justice Stories. You love more stories like this? Click the videos above and see you there.